Summer activities can be exciting, educational, fun, and helpful for your college applications. But what should you do this summer? High schoolers probably don't have much experience with such an open-ended question. They've received advice from birth on what to do and when to do it. Even in school, every class is assigned for their track. There may be one or two electives, but for the most part, it's first you do this, then you do this. Summer, it's wide open. That's the joy of it, really. You're going to love my guest, Bob Carlton of College Matchpoint. He has a lot to say and he's just so much fun. But I bet he'll emphasize that you should follow your interests, do what you want. That's hard to do when you might not know your interests yet. If you know your direction, then you should build on the things you've done before, go deeper. If you don't know your direction yet, you should explore. And exploring may end up resulting in you finding just the thing you want to pursue for the rest of your life. Or you could learn one more thing that you never want to do again. Both are good outcomes. So today, we're diving in on how to approach summer activities and how something as simple as a conversation can be just the right step for you.
It's the College Talk Show. Today's theme, summer activities, with special guest, Bob Carlton. And now, here's your host, Chris Bell.
So, like I said, I am so happy to have our guest, Bob Carlton, here. He's been working in higher ed for over 30 years. He helps students find purposeful summer experiences, explore career paths, and navigate the whole college process with confidence. Bob, I am so happy to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, you bet. Thanks, Chris.
I'm wondering if we're talking about this idea of summertime and kind of making it useful for high schoolers. And I'm wondering, what are purposeful activities and what's the idea there with working from a student perspective?
You know, I think summer is such an interesting time developmentally for young people. It's a time where you don't have your entire day scheduled, which is really unique even for a kindergartner. And so you have this great canvas, and sometimes that great canvas can almost be overwhelming. I mean, there is a desire to have fun, to hang out with friends, but I think ultimately, not just parents, but kids say, I want to do something this year, this summer, that I can walk away from and say, God, that was interesting. And it doesn't have to be huge. It can be a summer job. It can be a project. It can be helping dad or mom with their business. But it's something where they say, during the school year, I'm just too busy. In the summer, I can go deep, and it's not for a grade or a project. It's just because I'm interested and I care about it.
I love it. So it's about following an interest, maybe, or is it also demonstrating an interest?
It is. You know, it's funny. You and I are both in a world where we help kids ultimately with college decisions. And I always joke with kids, there's only one wrong activity to do in the summer. And that is doing an activity because it looks good to a college.
Oh,
It doesn't, because
that's
you
great.
don't care about it. The most important thing that any kid can do in a summer is be themselves, explore, try things, mess up, change your mind. And so we really encourage kids to start where they're at, not the college they hope they're going to move into as a freshman, but what have you been interested so far? We worked with a student and I asked him, what do you wish you had more time to do in the school year? And he said, look at my fantasy football team stats. I play fantasy football as well. I said, boy, do I hear you. It's really fun and interesting. In the summer before his sophomore year, he started a business helping other teenage guys draft their fantasy football team. Did he do it because it looked good to a college? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Did he do it because he was interested? He loves sports, but he's not an athlete. He did it because he really wanted to do it. And when he went back to school, he goes to a private school. When he went back to school, I guarantee you no other kid did something like that in the summer. But he went back being more interested in math, being more interested in his business class, because he tried something and it was fun. And the postscript is that kid made more in his senior fall tutoring his friends on drafting their fantasy football than any summer job he would have ever had.
I love it. So following your interest is a key thing. I love it. I think that makes a lot of sense. I've heard you say before that one way of exploring careers or that sort of thing, because that's another thing that you could do for summer, might be these informational interviews.
Yeah, so it's a horrible term, isn't it? It sounds like something that you go to a doctor for once a year. Here's the deal. Most kids know a little bit about what their parents do for a living. My mom's a lawyer. My dad's a doctor. My mom has her own small business. We see about half the kids say, I want to do what my mom does. We see the other half say, I will never do what my mom does. Okay?
Right.
For the kids that we work with, about half of them say the main reason they want to go to college is to get a great job when they graduate. Number one reason. And so one of the things that we found is that if kids can talk to an adult, not their parent, but an adult that has a career that they think they might be interested in, it makes it real. There are so many great resources online. We're big fans of them. But at the end of the day, spending an hour having a taco or a cup of coffee with an adult and asking them a basic set of questions. What did you major in? Do you like your job? What do you do every day? And then we encourage every kid to end with a question, and that is, if you were me, what would you do? And one interesting thing that's come out of it is most of the adults say, why don't you come and watch me do what I do in my job? Now, the official term for that is a job shadow, but that conversation with the adult made it real, and we joke with kids. The best outcome of an informational interview is it confirms that's what you think you want to do professionally when you graduate from college. You want to know the second best outcome?
What's that?
I don't want to do that. I never want to do that. I will never major in that. And we said to a mom the other day, and it saved that kid changing their major in freshman year of college.
I think that first step, that how can students set up an informational interview? Are you asking them to sort of access their network, or?
So it's great. It's a great question. So we always say to parents, the first step here is your assignment. You know people who work in a profession that you can imagine your child's interests would lead them to. It's also a good conversation for a student to have with her parents. Mom, Dad, I'm interested in this. I've always loved this. I want to do this. Most of the time, those informational interviews are a mom or a dad saying, hey, Chris, why don't you go out to lunch with so-and-so? Now, we always say to kids, your parents take the first step, you take it all the way from there. That this isn't being done for the student, they're doing it themselves. But I would say the overwhelming majority of kids that we work with, the informational interviews they do, start with a connection from mom and dad. An interesting thing that some of our kids do, we had one girl that we worked with who asked the person the question, who else should I talk to? Sure enough, it was a generous, great adult, and the adult said, oh, come on, Christy, we're going to get you set up to talk to this person, and then to this person, and then to this person. Because dirty little secret, most adults love talking with kids about what they do for a living.
Are there other sort of categories or types of summer activities that you would suggest? And also, how would a student sort of find those things?
So let me start as basic as humanly possible. Nothing better than you can do in a summer than taking a trip or hanging out with your family. Family time, that time to recharge, we think is always important. And for many families, that's a tradition. That's connected to a tradition.
Love it.
Second biggest category we see is camps. A lot of kids have been going to either outdoor camps or athletic camps. Now, we say to kids, be yourself there. Really try to have the opportunity. And the older you get, you might be a counselor in training or you might take a leadership role. But forget about college when you go there.
Oh, I see
Think
what you're
about
saying.
being you in that summer.
Got it.
Now, there are a handful of activities. We talked about informational interview, which many high school students do in the summer because they want to go deeper. We see 3 other big categories.
Oh, yeah.
The first one is sort of the cousin of an informational interview, and that's an internship, a job shadow. I would say about 2/3 of the kids that we work with, by the time they graduate from high school, do some type of extended job shadow during a summer. Not pay, and they're doing it usually at a smaller organization, not big. The second thing is some kids are so fascinated about a very specific topic.
Yep.
It might be a topic that they covered in the school year, but they glossed over it. It might be a topic that the school year introduced them to that they want to go deeper. And these things can be called pre-college programs or college camps. I think of them as a class. They're usually a week or 2. Sometimes they're in person. Sometimes they have a fee. I want to say to every parent and student that's listening, they're not the side door to getting into a college. They're not worth your money unless you want to go and learn.
Right, right.
And then some kids are just flat out research nerds. Those are the kids that have taken apart items in their home or tinkered or done 50-page book reports as 3rd graders. They've always loved research. And research can be a part of a small percentage of kids' summers. We see kids, if you think of the categories, travel and time with families, biggest category.
Yep.
Jobs,
Yep.
big category, okay? And there are lots of studies. The Walton Family Foundation recently did a study that the most impactful thing a kid can do during the summer is have a job that requires A, routine responsibilities, B, interactions with adults other than themselves, and C, using the skills that they love using.
Love it.
Lifeguard, hostess, these are not working for big organizations.
Right. Do you have tips or thoughts on how someone can find those things?
We are big fans of starting local. Mom and dad, teachers, neighbors, friends. Of course, the internet is filled with resources, just filled with resources. Money and meaning are not aligned.
Well put.
Just because a parent pays for an activity in the summer, just because a parent pays for their kid to go on an outdoor summer camp, doesn't necessarily guarantee that kid will love that summer activity.
I thought you were going to say maybe it won't look all that important or big on a college application.
You know, college applications, when you ask admissions people about summers, their first question is typically, tell me what you did. Tell me if you took initiative.
Right.
Did you just go away and do, like, there are lots of fee-based travel programs where you can go to Costa Rica or other areas and have a mix of tourism and volunteering. And I think it's great. I think it can be a powerful exposure for a young person to that. Many colleges will say, so what? Did that change you? When you went back home, did you get more involved in activities related to that? They're looking for an arc. We had a kid the other day say to us, I think I understand this now. This isn't a concert. This is a streaming show. This isn't a one-off where I go to it and then go back to real life. This is building on this to this to this. But colleges really seem to be interested in, how does this give me a more complete understanding of Travis, rather than it just being some kind of random playlist of, I did this, but then I did this, but then I did this, but then I did this. We had a kid the other day say, I guess they're not going to admit me by the poundage of my resume.
Thank you, Bob. That was fabulous. I appreciate all your input. It's more than I was hoping for. Great stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Chris.
We'll be right back right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Bell College Consulting. Visit bellcollegeconsulting.com to learn more.
I am grateful to Bob Carlton of College Matchpoint for joining me in the studio to share his warm and really helpful advice around summer activities. Now, it's the part of the show where I try to emphasize the key points made today. I call it Top Tips.
Top tips. Top tips. Kind of a summary, but we call it top tips. Top tips.
Here we go. Top tips related to purposeful summer activities. Tip 6. Approach your summer activities with purpose. Not what you think colleges will want, but what is really true and right to you. Number 5. Colleges are looking for a connected arc in your list of activities. Each activity is genuine, it builds on your other activities. That's what they really want to see. Tip 4. Colleges will want to know, what did you do? Did you take initiative? Did it change you? How did it help you grow? Did you get more involved? Tip 3. We can categorize activities into 2 main groups. In the group 1, it's purely fun, and it's important. Things like family time and travel and maybe summer camp that you've gone to forever. You should embrace these and do them for fun. Then in group 2, I call it something purposeful or meaningful to you. It could be a summer job, it could be informational interviews or a job shadow or maybe an internship. Pre-college programs about a topic that you really like are also important, but note, pre-college programs at colleges are not a secret door to get into that college. They're really about learning more about the topic. Number 2, cost does not equate to meaning. And the number 1 tip regarding purposeful summer activities is do something meaningful to you. That's the Purposeful Summer Activities episode. Thank you again to Bob Carlton for his great insight and advice. And remember, college is awesome.